It's 15. One more round. There's no stopping this now. Do it now! Now!
There's the bell. The war is on.
This is the last round.
Cowboy is chopping the Russian down.
Downstairs now!
Downstairs of punches. Forget technique. Forget strategy. This is just a street fight. It's a question of who wants it most.
Where is he going? He's winning!
What's up, guys? Video number 4, I think, coming at you. Hostile. Basically, what I want to do here is show you guys what parts I'm running to complete the install with the TorqStorm on the Hemi on the 5.7. I'm going to give you guys part numbers and show you everything that I'm running. So grab a pen and a notebook and pay attention. Starting with the intercooler. So the intercooler that I'm running, or was going to run, is right here. This is from CX Racing. That is the part number IC0012-A. There's your dimensions: 26 by 13, 3.5 inch. So it's a 3.5 inch core, 3-inch inlet, 3-inch outlet on the same side. As you can see, for the price, it's $279. These come from CX Racing, already pressure tested. A lot cheaper than what comes with ProCharger. So this is the intercooler that comes with the base kit from ProCharger. I don't like it. It's kind of narrow. Also, if you go through ProCharger, I believe they're looking for $850 for this intercooler. So you could have this, which looks like this, for $850, or you could have, nobody panic, I'm just going back through my notes here. Alright, so from CX Racing, the original intercooler I was going to run is a model number IC0012-A, which is this. Now this intercooler, right here, IC0012-A, is actually made for a Fox body Mustang. But if you look at the dimensions, 26 inches long, 13 inches high, to 3.5 inch core, 3-inch inlet, 3-inch outlet. For $299 comes pressure treated from CX Racing versus ProCharger's ugly base model intercooler that I don't like. I see my intercooler, I want to see it through the grill. People notice it, you know what I'm saying? It's a quality unit. It's not some cheap knockoff China Wuhan eBay type stuff. But now I'm going to throw a monkey wrench and confuse everybody, because if you go over here, they have the 3.5 inch core. Starts with the same model number, IC0012-A-big core. It's $30 more expensive. The dimensions are a little bigger. Let's see, click on that. And if you look at the dimensions, it's a 25 by 16 by 3.5 inch core. So it's the same 3-inch inlet, 3-inch outlet, 3.5 inch core, but it is bigger. And the reason I want to run this one is because I want to, in an effort, keep my intake air temperatures down, because I want to run a smaller pulley, spin my supercharger faster, which creates heat, while maximizing my max boost to 8 psi by using a wastegate. There's a theory running around the internet that if you run a smaller pulley now, you spin your pulley, your supercharger faster, you're going to make power quicker, you're going to build boost quicker, you're going to make more torque, you're going to improve your 0-60 foot times. But you can still maximize your max boost at 8 psi, depending on what spring you run in a wastegate. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to put a link in the description. And if you guys bear with me, I'll show you dyno results.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'll put a link to this in the description so you guys can read it for yourselves. Basically what they did, I read this on 2 different builds, 2 different articles. One was on an LS Camaro, I believe. The other one was on a Mustang. And they added a wastegate and put a smaller pulley. And you can go through and read it all, But like I said, I'll put a link in the description. But just to give you guys an idea, blah, 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 do. Let's see. Where are the dyno results? Standard kit delivered the expected 550 rear wheel horsepower, while the wastegate equipped car's best numbers were 579 horsepower, 568 foot-pounds of torque. That's about a 6% greater horsepower and 14% more torque. Closer look at the numbers more revealing. The wastegate equipped car crossed the 500 rear wheel torque threshold by 3,700 RPM. That was 1,000 RPM sooner than the other car without the wastegate, and it held it above the 500 mark through 5,900 RPM. So I'm going to try to find a description for the other build, which I believe is in a Mustang, but the theory is the same. You're not making more boost. All you're doing is spinning your supercharger faster. You're building boost quicker. That improves your power down low, improves your torque, which on a heavy car, 4,300 pound Challenger on the street is what you want. And I also love the idea of this. I'm not trying to chase numbers. I just think it's a cool idea and I want to try it. Basically at the point now, I'm just trying to figure out what millimeter wastegate I need to run, whether it be a 38 millimeter or a 44 millimeter possibly. But like I said, I'll put a link in the description. And there are numbers here, actual dyno numbers. So with wastegate, no wastegate, right? 3,100 RPM, 143 pound, 143 horsepower, torque was at 168. Okay? Then you have, if you follow the numbers down, 324 horsepower, 421 foot-pounds of torque versus 280 horsepower. So you went from 280 to 324 at 3,500 RPM. You went from 421 foot-pounds of torque at 3,500 RPM to 489 foot-pounds of torque. 430 versus 497, 439 versus 508, 308 versus 357 horsepower at 37 RPM. So you get the gist of it. You see what I'm talking about here. So 568, I think, is where they maxed out. So you have, let's see, 560, where'd it go? 568 foot-pounds of torque versus 493 foot-pounds of torque, and 450 horsepower versus 518 horsepower at 4,800 RPM. One of the cons of doing this is that you're going to build more heat. So your intake air temperature sensors are going to increase, which is my reason for running, where'd it go? Hold on. But that is my reason for running the bigger intercooler. Okay? And now moving on to, oh, hold on. Let me give you guys, what did I do with that tab? Bear with me. Blah, blah. blah, 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 blah. I don't see it now. I think I lost it. Anyway. Yeah, I did. I lost it. That's what that's my fault. Hold on. Nobody panic. All right. So that is why I'm running the bigger intercooler from CX Racing, which is basically the same model number, but it is a bigger, physically bigger intercooler in hopes to keep my intake air temperatures down. The part number for the big core intercooler, write this down, IC0012-A-big core. $329 for that. There's your dimensions, right? Versus, let's see. You take that and then you take, bear with me, I'm trying to fidget through my tabs here. Versus that. For $850 versus $330. And you can take that extra $500 and put it towards other things such as, I don't know, injectors. So what injectors, everybody's asking, what injectors are you going to run with your setup? These come from Fuel Injector Clinic. Grab your pen. There is a part number. These are 650cc, 72 pound an hour injectors. This is what Frostbite Ram is running on his setup in his Ram, and he's running, I know he's back in the 11s. He might be running mid 11s, depending on DA. He was running another set of injectors. He was actually running a little bit lean. These are actually suggested from Jay Green. These are at fuelinjectorclinic.com, but you can get these through several different companies. So the part number for that is, let's see, injectors for Fuel Injector Clinic. Part number IS153-0650H.
Write that down.
So these are the injectors that we're going to run. Now, running these injectors with this kit, another thing you need to do, because you're adding boost to the equation, is update your map sensor. So the map sensor, let's see, it's right here. Mopar 3-bar map sensor. Here's your part number, 5149056AA.
Write that down.
$40. You're definitely going to have to run a 3-bar versus a 2-bar. There's a notch in there somewhere that needs to be filed off to make on the plastic to make the plug fit. It's plastic. You just file it down and it plugs right in. $40. And that's from highhorseperformance.com. The other question people are asking me is, what are you running for a plumbing kit for your intercooler? And I answer, this one. Now, this is a universal kit. It's on Amazon. This is for 3-inch inlet, 3-inch outlet. Comes with dual 90 degrees, dual 180 degrees. There's a couple straight pipes. There's a couple, I don't even know how many degrees those are. So multiple people that I've talked to have run this kit on Challengers. And the only other thing you need to add to it is a 120 degree rubber boot coming off the Supercharger, which you can find in a lot of different places. Obviously the kit's not expensive, $120. I'm willing to blow $120, even if I just use this for mock-up purposes. But people are running this, and it works. So Moosun, I don't know. It could be a cheap kit. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll tell when I open the box and it comes in the mail if it's quality or not. If I feel it's quality, and I'm gonna run it. If not, I'll just use it for a mock-up purpose. You know what I mean? But this is an intercooler piping kit that will work with what the kit comes with for a Challenger, for a centrifugal supercharger like the TorqStorm with an intercooler. This is what you need to run. Spark plugs. These, I believe, are the plugs that Frostbite Ram is running on his setup. He actually messages me on Instagram. You can find these at fasthemis.com. I'm sure you can find these a lot of other places. Part number LTR6IX-11.
Write that down.
These are NGKs, and these are a one-step colder plug designed for boost or nitrous for 5.7. And you take $9.37 and then times it by 16, and you have an idea of how much spark plugs cost for your Hemi. Alright guys, so basically I just wanted to answer a lot of questions. A lot of guys asked what intercooler you're running with your setup, what intercooler piping you're using, what spark plugs, stuff like that. So yes, the TorqStorm doesn't come as a complete turnkey kit like ProCharger. But if you guys go back to Frostbite Ram, he just posted a video a couple days ago going over his build, quick summary. And he said, I think he said he's right at like $4,300 complete out the door for everything he needed versus $7,000 from ProCharger. I'm not knocking ProCharger. I love ProCharger. I've loved them since they came out with the P600Bs, blow-through carb setups for Chevys back in the day. But that money that I save on that $7,000, that's, you know, those are my injectors, my map sensor, and intercooler piping, and, you know. The other thing I'm looking at right now, trying to figure out this wastegate situation in order to keep my intake air temperatures down, because your supercharger will be running hotter, spinning faster with a smaller pulley, is meth injection. I haven't really gotten a chance to research that yet, but I'm looking into it, and I will definitely let you guys know. But hopefully this isn't information overload, but you guys got the part numbers for the map sensor, the injectors, the intercooler, depending on what intercooler you're going to run, and the intercooler piping, plus a 120 degree 3-inch rubber boot elbow. But that's basically what you need to complete the kit for TorqStorm. And honestly, you're not really looking at a lot of money. The injectors are more than anything else. The other one last part of that equation, guys are asking about fuel. Most guys are still running their stock fuel pump with like a 270 cam and a 6.4 intake. Under boost, they're still running a stock fuel pump. Okay. But what they are doing is running one of these, and this is what we're gonna do. Let's see. Hold on. I should have had this ready. I'm sorry. All right. So this started out for the Mustang guys. Okay. So Ken Bell, they did a lot of research. They actually have I don't want to call it a dyno or a flow bench, but they test fuel pumps and fuel systems. Okay. You could literally take a stock 392 6.4 fuel pump, and by adding voltage to it, you can power a Hellcat. Hellcat pumps are not cheap. Neither are Scat Pack pumps, for that matter. So what happens is they make a couple different models for this, and one of them is for a supercharged or turbocharged setup, forced induction. And basically, like the old school P600Bs back in the day, like a blow-through carburetor setup with ProCharger, you're turning your fuel delivery system to what's called boost reference. By running a sensor, it detects boost and will crank up the voltage to your stock fuel pump when it demands it. It's not all the time. You're not taking your stock fuel pump and putting 17 volts to it in a 12 volt system. You'll burn it up. But this does turn up your boost, or turn up your fuel pressure. I think it's by 3 to 5 psi, something like that. But only when it needs it. It's not running that all the time. $268. That's it. That's all you need. I think there's some guys out there that are running a TorqStorm Supercharger with a cam and intake and headers and all that with a tune, and they're not even running this. They're still running on a stock fuel pump, and they're not even running this kit. I like the idea of it, and I'm doing it just for like an insurance policy. For $268, I don't care. I'm gonna run it. I'd rather have too much fuel where I can turn it down than run lean and cause detonation and cause problems and everybody has a bad day. So to answer your questions, yes, you can run a stock fuel pump with this setup, even with a cam, even with headers and a tune. But I would recommend this kit. And like I said, the way this works is it cranks up the voltage to your fuel pump, which will give you more fuel when you're under boost. Not all the time, but when your engine demands it, you're going to get more fuel. $268 is your part number, KB89069, and you can get this on eBay. You can get this thing anywhere. The Ken Belt Boost the Pump, you can get those from a lot of different places. And if you shop around, you can maybe you could find it cheaper. $268. I believe most of the ones I've seen are like $280. Actually, so that's a pretty good price. $268. So we covered fuel delivery, we covered injectors, we covered intercooler piping, the 3-bar map sensor. And I think for now, that should answer a lot of your guys' questions. If you guys have any further questions, throw them in the comments and shoot me a question. Hit me up on Instagram, hostile Hemi _345. Shoot me a question. I'll shoot you an answer. I'll help you guys out as much as I can without confusing you or I, because I get confused very easily.